Hi and welcome to Indigo Starfire. My name is Bevin, and in this video I'm going to be looking into the energies of love for the month of April 2023 for the collective of the zodiac sign of Taurus. And you can apply these energies to your sun, moon, or rising sign. Cross watchers are welcome as well. I'm just starting for the first time these zodiac sign readings related to love, so I would love to hear your feedback in the comments section as far as what you think of the format of this video. And before I get into the reading, I wanted to start with the channel announcements. If you would like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop. There's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. And I've launched a second channel here on YouTube. It's called Lady of the Dawn Tarot. There's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format over there is pick-a-cards and general energy check-ins related to spirituality, wellness, ascension, and self-love. I've just started a series of general energy check-ins, collective readings for zodiac signs over there. I posted the first batch of readings yesterday, and then I'll finish out with the remaining 6 zodiac signs tomorrow. So if any of that sounds interesting, I invite you to check that channel out. I thank you for your support over there as well as for your continued support here on this channel. So for this reading, I'm going to be pulling 3 cards, getting 3 clarifiers, and closing it out with some guidance. So Taurus, what do you need to know about the energies of love for April 2023? Okay, so we have the 3 of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the 5 of Pentacles. So right away, it's really tying into that this sort of energy, this sort of circumstance and situation, it may come to fruition kind of later in the month of April when we enter into the energies of your sun sign. The last week of April specifically may be very crucial for you in this, but this is really bringing to mind the idea of somebody that you're in a no contact situation with coming forward and saying, I want to work this out. I want to compromise. I see things from your perspective. I miss you. Can we try to fix things? Can we find a way through whatever the difficulties are? Somebody who sees the light, somebody who may have been very much in like a shadowy energy, someone who's been doing the work quietly in a period of no contact or separation. This can talk about like tearful reunions that happen. Maybe this is, physically coming into contact with somebody. They show up at your house, they show up at your job, you run into them out and about. And it's almost bringing to mind the idea of like 2 people just embracing, very kind of like tearful, almost like something that you could kind of cue the romantic music, like a scene from a movie, almost like 2 people seeing each other across a crowded space and just kind of like running to each other, embracing and saying, I'm so sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. So for, a portion of you, for some of you, that could definitely be sort of, along the lines of that. It may not be, as dramatic as that kind of situation and scenario, maybe for one of you or a couple of you, but this definitely, there's a lot of indication here of somebody really seeing the light, really seeing the truth. And if they're not necessarily ready to come forward yet to speak something, this is almost that they are starting to do the work to repair whatever has gone wrong in the situation, clean up their side of the street. But it's something that you get an indicator of. Maybe you're seeing something on social media that demonstrates this kind of behind the scenes work that they're doing. This can be where you're hearing it through the grapevine. Or even if this is someone that you have kind of like on and off again communication with, something in the nature of that changes. Instead of all this kind of like heaviness and shadowy energy, there's a lightness. It's something that's very uplifting. It helps to restore your hope in some way that whatever kind of dissonance has occurred between you in the past, it wasn't for nothing. That this person is, again, they might not be at the point yet in the month of April of ready to come forward and say something, but they definitely have turned a corner within themselves. They've kind of like stopped the stubbornness. They have stopped kind of running and hiding even from something that was very confrontational to them, kind of owning up to their part of what has gone awry in this situation. They're turning a corner. It instills in you a sense of, that there's something meaningful through the encounter. This is somebody who's alchemizing the pain of what you've experienced into a source of personal power. It feels definitely that it may have almost like a boomerang effect upon you as well. They're starting to do the work. They've gotten the message. They're starting to kind of repair the things within themselves that interfered with or cluttered the connection in the past. It motivates you to either, kind of keep the door open slightly for this person. It encourages and inspires you that your experience with them was not all for nothing. It may be something that then kind of gives you that strength or motivation to continue kind of becoming that love that you are seeking, rather than just projecting all blame onto this other person or shouldering all that responsibility in and of yourself. There's this energy of like two people kind of silently and yet mutually doing what they need to do to kind of create those internal and personal repairs, which then in time can possibly ripple out into, rebuilding, repairing the connections, starting fresh in some way. So I'm going to get the clarifiers and see what else you need to know about that. And before I get into these clarifiers, I wanted to mention also that if this is like a new person that you're dealing with, somebody that you're kind of in those early stages of building the connection with one another, there may be something that comes up in April, some distance that has had to be created between the two of you. Maybe somebody has to go on like a work trip, or one or both of you gets very busy with your work. You're not able to spend as much time with one another, but the results of this kind of series of events is absence makes the heart grow fonder. So in general, what may be kind of like the communication or the time you're spending together, it really just trickles down to a bare minimum. Overall, it's something that is very healthy and it very much benefits sort of the forward momentum, what this situation can grow into in a long-term sense. Almost like you're both kind of needing that space away from one another. It doesn't feel like anybody who's deliberately kind of taking a break if this is, the energy of like a new person you're dealing with, but just other kind of commitments, other kind of duties and responsibilities, a very full plate. It minimizes the time you're able to spend with one another, but it helps to kind of in that different sort of environment clarify for each of you kind of how meaningful, how significant the time you do have together with one another is, so that, once whatever that commitment is or whatever that kind of series of like stress or having, a lot on your plate, working long hours, for example, once that kind of smooths out, further down the road in sort of like the months to come, it's you're coming back together with this renewed sense of deep appreciation for one another. It's like a separation period that makes your appreciation for one another grow. So in terms of the clarifiers, we have the Four of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Page of Swords. So definitely with this Page of Swords, in terms of, like a new connection, for example, this is somebody who really sees and appreciates and values your worth while they are having to be at a distance from you. It's not the energy of somebody who's like deciding to take a break, who's pulling back their energy. It's almost that they are having to be diverted elsewhere for a period of time, or you're having to be diverted elsewhere for a period of time. They're just left with their thoughts. It may be something that they just considered you as a friend up to this point in time, and they start to recognize and realize these deeper feelings that they have for you with this Ace of Cups kind of coming out of the sky here. Something that these feelings that may have been growing for quite some time within them, but they were so just enmeshed, or there was so much contact between the two of you that it's almost like they need this sort of widened perspective. They need this almost like time at a distance from you, physically, literally, or even energetically, to be able to see that truth, that this is a more than just friends situation. That if this is like the early stages of a romantic connection, they want more with you. They want to build with you. It's something that leads to a lot of long-term energy. It's something that through this experience, kind of that Seven of Pentacles, in the future of this situation, based on sort of what kind of drives you apart for a period of time or creates that distance, it helps in terms of the longevity of the connection. If this is somebody that you're in a no contact situation with, again, this is somebody like coming out from the cold, coming out from the past, maybe starting to do that work on themselves that they have deferred for quite some time, that they've avoided. They're starting to take a look at things. They're getting some clarity. They may be very inspired by you, perhaps watching on social media. It gives them the initiative to, start to take personal responsibility. It's something as well with the Page of Swords, whether they're coming forward to you or you're just hearing about it, you're seeing on their social media, it's evidence that that they are kind of moving out of some sort of a rut. They're leveling up in some way. It may be, kind of just that first indication where it's going to take time to see how far this person is willing to go in that transformation. But it's something that provides you with a lot of clarity, a lot of reassurance, a lot of vindication as well. It's something where even in that scenario of like that tearful reunion and somebody who, comes back to you and says, I was wrong, I miss you, I see the light now, I want you in my life. It's something that may have been like a long time coming. You've just been kind of like hovering, kind of not necessarily putting all your eggs in that basket, but at the same time trying to remain hopeful. And it may be, just kind of like this introduction, that first conversation. It may even come in like on the last day of the month, like April 30th, you get this message. And so, it's this idea of whatever unfolds in the month of April, there's kind of like more to it. It's like stay tuned and see what sort of develops out of this process, out of this communication, out of this kind of like change of heart, a change in perspective, a raising of the vibration in the situation in sort of the months to come beyond that. So in terms of signs that you might be dealing with, we've got earth energy with the pentacles here. So Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Cups is water, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And the swords is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So I'm going to get some guidance for you now. And these can also be little mantras that you repeat to yourself, you incorporate in your kind of daily self-care practice throughout the month of April that can be helpful, very conducive to nurturing these energies. And we have, I accept my vulnerability. It strengthens my love of self. Yeah, so this can be somebody, again, that confirmation of, that declaration, I miss you, I see the light, that kind of the energy of the distance between two people. I see what you mean to me now. I recognize your value and your worth. This can even tie into, sort of leading into this new chapter of like a deepening of appreciation and understanding between two people, whether this is somebody from your past or someone new you're dealing with. And we also have, I anchor the boundless light in my heart. I am divine. Yeah, so definitely a reawakening of something in the heart space, a certainty which is created or which is expressed to you by somebody. They know who you are. They know what you mean to them. They're willing to work on this. They want to try. They want to try harder. They're making the efforts within themselves or, the distance, kind of both of you needing to live your own lives for a period of time. It anchors in this certainty of feelings that may have been so kind of like close to the surface that they were overlooked in some way. So distance, definitely. Absence makes the heart grow fonder for you this month, Taurus. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.